Hey everyone, today I'm going to be talking about the new Microsoft Whiteboard, which is available on Microsoft Teams. So if you go ahead and you join a Teams meeting, so what you can do is you can click up at the top here, and then over here you have the whiteboard option. And then your first option that you're going to get is whether you want to work with others on your whiteboard, so you all work on it together, or you present it and that you're the only one editing the whiteboard. You can change this straight away in the settings anyway, so it doesn't matter. You can just go over here and toggle this option. And by default, you have the option to enhance shape. So just as normal, if you want to draw something and then convert it to a shape, it does that for you. So ignoring all of that, you still have the sticky notes. So you can choose a sticky note and you just click where you want it, and then you can type in them. And then you can change your colors. So you have to click and then have space at the top. Then you can resize them. You have your copy and your paste option. So you can do that. I'll show you. You can import some images. There's an image of Chinatown in London. So it's good to add alt text, so adding alt text. So people who have screen readers, you can see Chinatown in London, night lights, or something like that, right? It's advisable for alt text perhaps to have 150 characters. Over here you have your reactions you can add, you can resize them, you have more options. So you can put it over here and then send it to the back and stuff like that. Your drawing options, so this is an arrow, so if you want to point somewhere, you can, and it does the pointing for you. You have these pen options and a highlighter. You can change the color of the highlighter, and also erase like that. Erasing just works for the pens. Text, so if you wanted to, you could just use this, or you can right click and add text like this. You have your shapes, so shapes. So this is going to be by default a square when you click, but you can change it to a rectangle. Now if you wanted to keep the aspect ratio, so I'm doing Ctrl Z and Ctrl Y to go back and forth between undoing and redoing instead of clicking here. But if you wanted to keep the aspect ratio, you hold the shift key and you drag like that. You can also zoom in and zoom out by scrolling, and you can pan by dragging around. If you have the pen selected, then basically use this option then to drag around, or you can right click and then it resets. Another thing you can do is have templates, so I think this is a really cool addition into Whiteboard. So if you wanted, you can see an affinity diagram, and you have a prompt, and then you have themes, and you can still edit this template as much as you want. The nice thing is that if you want another, you can just add it like this, just click where you want it to be. If you have documents on OneDrive, you can just use these documents within Whiteboard. For example, I'm going to take this presentation. This is a Logic Apps presentation I made for a video, and you can see all the slides in here. And if I want to add some of these slides, I can just click the ones I want, and I can go ahead and insert this into the, and you can drag these around. I can zoom in, I can go around right on here and say Twitter, sentiment, graph, move to the other picture I have down here, talk about this. I could go like, or if you go from this part, if it's greater, you go into this option, and then if it's not, you go into this other option, and such like that. There's an example of a PDF. So I had a PDF looking into data fusion. I'm zooming in, you can see here's the article, and I've got all these different pages. I can go like, okay, so this is a meeting, I want to talk about this. One other thing is that you may wonder, hey, I want to do math, so how do I change the background to have a grid? You can have a square grid like this, you can have it more hybrid like this, and you can also change the color. So that's all cool. Once you finish with your whiteboard, you can go ahead and export this as an image over here, and you can choose the size, and then you have that. Also, you may wonder, how do you get your whiteboard back? So over here in my meeting, I can see I have whiteboard as an option. So you can go ahead and you can load it from the meeting itself. Now the same way with meeting notes, if it's a meeting in your calendar, you can click edit, and then you have whiteboard over here. Now, you may also want to access your whiteboard outside of Teams. You can use the whiteboard app, Microsoft Whiteboard, and you can find the same whiteboard. Or you can go to whiteboard.office.com. There you go, here's the whiteboard we had before. You can also go to office.com/apps, and you can see the option whiteboard, or you can click down here on office.com. I do think this is a great new design for Whiteboard, and I hope you all enjoy, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.